Immediately it puts you into a synesthetic mode or an altered state of consciousness where you begin to flow with the sound and the gong begins to play you. So you can just let it go and just become one with it. And I think that's a wonderful talent that everybody should acquire, is the ability to allow an instrument that's ensouled by a great creative intelligence to flow through them. You are a gong, and of course your resonance, your holistic resonance, is your health. It's your aura, it's your beingness, we call it. And so what the gongs do, any gong will do it, is going to prime you to be at your greatest resonance or greatest holistic health. But we have specific gong sounds that'll resonate to your solar plexus, to your heart, to your throat, to different parts of your body. And so that you can really become an alchemist of sound, a healing tone artist. And that's our goal, is to make everybody into a healing sound artist. Gong is put together as an alloy. And diverse metals are very similar to the diversity in your life. And it allows you to bring all diverse elements and create functional harmony. That's totally different than Concordian harmony. Functional harmony is when dissonances are being brought together to exchange their energies so that it becomes like an engine of power rather than a musical instrument. The new sounds are called the Bach tone bouquets, and they simply are taking the different planets of the solar system, combining them, layering their tones, so that a person can divine their own meditation. And we're going to introduce that this year to our workshop. And we're going to teach people how they can suss out exactly what type of meditation they need to do and how to do it, and affirmations to put with it. It's really making the best use of sacred and magical sound that comes only through the gong itself.
I originally trained as a classical player, and then I worked in the pop field as well with a number of pop groups. And somewhere in the middle, I wanted to make my own music, and those two influences, I think, have been very important in my life. So I consequently started to write my own music, which slightly slower, very melodic. And I had a lot of feedback from therapists and people doing yoga, meditation, healing, telling me how effective this music was. And I'd never, until that moment, understood that music could have this therapeutic effect upon people, be this thing of healing and transformation for people. So I really came to my style as a result of that sort of feedback and realizing that sound could be this very positive thing for people to hear and listen to. I play lots of different flutes, and they come from many different traditions. In particular, I play one which is the American Indian flute. This is, you know, the Indian tribes before the white man came and took the land. They would play this instrument when they would come back from battle, from war, or from hunting. To soften their own hearts, they would take out this instrument and play it to bring them back into their own spirit from, let's say, the war person that they'd had to be out there, the hunter or the warrior. And they bring it and play this flute to bring them back into this softness. And it is said by myth and story that they would also play this instrument to then open the heart of the woman that they wanted to make love to when they got back from their war or hunting. So it has this effect upon the body. It is very enchanting and very dreamlike and beautiful. And I see and witness there is a great hunger for this sort of soft, gentle music that can calm people. And I think really, you know, we are in life are surrounded by a lot of sound anyway. That's man-made sound, you know, helicopters, planes, trains, cars, refrigerators, all sort of beating away at our eardrums. And sometimes I think we need a little bit of quiet, a little bit of calm. And consequently, my music and a lot of other music can be used for that purpose.
I've been doing my career since 1964, successfully, and rolling all along. And I had a particular year that I left my husband of 20 years, and then 2 months later my mother died. 10 days later my mother-in-law died, and it was going bang, 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 and I was left open, exposed, and I had to find myself all over again. So it drew me to wanting to communicate with people, to wanting to communicate with myself, to getting rid of a lot of things in my childhood that I didn't need. It made me question everything. That's what I started to do.
I see an ocean of life, energy. I blend into it, it blends into me, sit within, lead me, lead.
Being a singer and performer, you're presenting your ego to the stage. Your talent that you were given, you know. But I think I always have felt that my main talent was my ability to communicate. And that's what I'm trying to use now, not just in song, but in speech. And downstairs we did no music, we just communicated. You know, I think I'm trying now to reach out and touch people and share all the pain. And then, like I said, leave it behind. It's been very interesting. I'm enjoying myself immensely. My new message is to love yourself. Number one, love yourself. Learn to like who you are, good and bad. And leave your baggage behind, because you don't need it anymore. You know, and they charge you a fortune for excess baggage on airplanes, you know, so don't carry it around. Just take a little nightstand, travel light. When you sit by yourself, you know yourself where your problems are. You know where your pains in your childhood were. You know, you can go back there, close your eyes, and you can be that child again within seconds. But to get rid of it is the difficult part, because it becomes as natural as breathing, waking up with that pain. You almost don't want to let it go, but you have to let it go.
The bowls are used specifically for healing, like we'll lay on certain parts of the body and let the sound go through the bottom of the bowl into the body. And that's how they're used. And they're used also to be able to fine-tune or to follow a hum line and meditate on a hum line that goes out. So they're used in conjunction with the gongs. But the bowls are gongs as well.
The first time I heard a gong in early 1968, I realized, this is the sound. And so then I started being attracted, and all sorts of instruments came to me, gongs and bells, and I have about 600 instruments, 40 gongs, 370 bells. I have 400-year-old Japanese Zen Buddhist temple bells, Ming Dynasty Chinese temple bells, and then Tibetan bowls. I have 165 Tibetan bowls, and many of these are 800 or 900 years old, and some are over 1,000 years old. I have a previous existence in Tibet. I can remember being in Tibet at the same time, 800 to 900 years ago. And so some of the bowls I had in a previous life, and so when I receive them, I know what their energies are for. And these ones are generally tuned into specific chakras or particular meditative states. And so then in the healing, when I'm doing sound healing, I will look at the person's chakras and see which ones have a block or a problem, and then I'll look at what has caused the problem, and then I will choose the right bowls to heal this problem, to go back to the source. So the bowls also, I found that they are the most potent of all instruments for the healing that I do. Other instruments I have which are sacred don't have the same, aren't charged with the same energy. Certain practitioners in Tibet, 700, 800, 900 years ago, would charge certain ritual objects through many weeks and months of thought and energy. They would charge certain ritual objects like statues and things with certain energies, so that when you look upon this, you are absorbing this energy. And so with the bowls. And so how the healing works also is that the bowls are like speaking to you in another language, but without words. So they can convey thoughts which are very hard to put into the earthly language. And also research shows that the bowls, their basic vibration is the same speed as alpha brainwaves and theta brainwaves. And theta brainwaves is quite close to delta, where you fall asleep. And one of the main purposes for falling asleep every day is that your astral body and your mental body, which is the ego, can give your physical body a rest, so it can heal itself. So the bowls help to disengage the ego and the earthly mind. So already it's working as healing. And in Tibetan Buddhism, the throat chakra is connected with the element ether and with sound. So you could say every bowl has some effect on this throat chakra, which is the creative center as well. And of course where we speak, how we express ourselves. And so often healing can be to do with people who have a problem with expressing themselves, because maybe they have a dominant partner or they had a dominant parent, and it is hard for them to be true to themselves. So sometimes the healing is to help somebody become stronger. And so I have, for instance, 4 bowls which work on the throat chakra, and they produce different colors. So when I work on the throat chakra, I have a choice, and the same with the heart chakra, and the same with the solar plexus, and so on.
very privileged because I learned it from my godmother. And like the dance, it was handed down to me through blood, and I felt very privileged because this is how it is done in the Middle East, from mother to daughter. It keeps going down. It's going on 17 years now, but before this I was a Polynesian dancer at the age of 8. So it sort of blended together, and they're both very connected to the earth and the earth energy. It happened when one woman of the village, long time ago, back in the beginning of time, one woman of the village was going through labor contractions and going to have a baby. She was pregnant. And all the other women would stand around her bedsides and perform these belly movements and these contractions so that she wouldn't have to go through it alone. It was what I call ancient Lamaze technique. So that's the belly dance, and then throughout history it evolved from there. Many different parts in the Middle East were doing their form of this ancient dance long time ago. And then the gypsies came over from India and they traveled throughout the Middle East, and they showed their dancing anytime that they would travel to a different village, and they would show them their dancing. So it kind of got mishmashed in between, so that you have movements coming from Africa, movements coming from Spain, because the gypsies started to travel. And then it came over to America with the World's Fair and Little Egypt, and everybody was so shocked because she had actually a lot more clothes than I did. See, show you my costume? A lot more clothes than I did. But the one thing that she was showing was this belly button, and they thought it was such a shock. Oh, my belly button's kind of covered up by my net. So they put a jewel in the navel, and that's how we get the jewel in the navel from Little Egypt. And then it just sort of circulated around the world, and we have lots and lots of belly dancing in America, a lot in Germany, a few in Hungary as well. But America and Germany are the main places of belly dancing, as well as the Middle East, of course. I shouldn't forget this. You have, the better you'll shake. But any sort of form can do this dance because it's ingrained in woman. It's the dance of woman, of femininity, of the earth, of the roundness of the earth, and it's all connected. And also men can do it as well because they have the feminine form within them as well. This is the center in many different religions. The belly, the hara, it all comes from here in Chinese philosophy. This is their center as well. They say in America, in the West, we're too much thinking people. We think our center is up in our head. So we have too much going on up here. And so the weight goes up here, and so we kind of topple over and fall over. But if you have your center down here and all your thoughts, everything, your soul is down here, you're very stable, and you can stand on the earth with strength and to go forward.
I trying to offer a message to the people about Mother Earth. That's what I do. And in the same way, my music is to help people to transform themselves from materialistic life into a spiritual life, but just for balance, to trying to find a balance between these two things. On the Western society, we have been misguided about nature, because on the Christian religion, they always say that nature is bad and this and that. So we really have been, so the Indian people has preserved this consciousness about nature, animal spirit, goddess, and all those beautiful things that help one to be close to Mother Spirit, nature.
Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother,
Everybody
I feel your heartbeat.
On the Indian land, we always talk about nature. We always talk about Mother Earth, Pachamama. We talk about animal spirit. We talk about everything what is connected with nature. Very, very few things about God. We have no a God manifested in or symbolizing some human beings as a God, like in India have, you know. In India has many gods. Here too we have God for sure and the Christian religion, you know, with big, long, white beard and mustache and long hair. But there is many gods over there too in another way. So India teach about the sky, the heaven, the places on cosmic things, and I mean the Hindus, but the Red Indians like myself teach about nature. And if you have both, understanding both types of education of this different culture, then you know heaven and then you know the earth.
Yeah, hey, yeah. Hey, ya, ho. Hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, ho. Yeah, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya. Yeah, hey, ya, hey, ya, ho. Hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, hey, ya, ho.
If you really wanted to help the earth, if you really wanted to help society or humanity, then we have to be prepared first. And then that will come only by practical work. Prepare ourselves, then we can, when we know ourselves, when we have helped ourselves, when we had gathered experience in ourselves, then we can help others. Then we can, for sure, the world will be different because we are the ones who create this world, you know. We create all these machines, we create all these cars, all these houses, all these things that it's on earth, we have created. So that means man has the potential to create too a beautiful world too for our children.
Grandfather fire yeah hey yeah 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 pom bam bam yeah hey